Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Diddy, Lucian, Grainge, and Tiffany Red, I'm wondering what is going on. Now, if you're wondering how those names got together, I was on the internet minding my business, being nosy, and I saw from Billboard, right? That Tiffany Red, y'all remember her? She is one of Cassie's friends, the songwriter that Diddy basically stalled her career because he was busy allegedly messing with Cassie's mind and body. If you believe Cassie's complaint, and I 100% do. If you guys don't know, Tiffany Red is a co-founder of a big initiative, and it is the 100%ers. Okay, the 100%ers is a musicians advocacy group because I guess after what happened to her with Diddy, she wanted to make sure that more people in the music industry were protected. Now, let me tell you my thought process, right? It was reported in Billboard that the Recording Academy, BMI, MMPA, and more music orgs signed the pledge committing to workplace safety. Part of that workplace safety was making sure there was no more diddling happening, right? Created by the advocacy group, the 100%ers, the Safe Music Business Pledge asks signers to abide by rules designed to ensure safe spaces for music workers. And I said, oh, okay, Tiffany's making some waves. Okay, right? However, I looked at the signees and I was interested to know there was the National Music Publishers Association, BMI, the Recording Academy, the Mechanical Licensing Collective, even Artistry Group, Eat Predators, HRDRV, Industry Blackout, LVRN, and Love Pulse Music. Okay. And this is committed to keeping artists, songwriters, producers, and staff safe in the workplace and studio sessions. It also commits to reporting sexual harassment, intimidation, or violence in the appropriate parties of our workplace or studio sessions and taking actions and not tolerating inappropriate behavior in the workplace or studio sessions. And I started to say, interesting Universal Music Group hasn't signed off on that. It would be such a great PR win, right? For them to actually sign off and pledge. And I started thinking, but why haven't they? I know Love Records can't do that right now. I know Motown Records can't do it. But why hasn't Universal Music Group, that's been screaming for a while, let us out of this lawsuit with Diddy? We don't deserve to be here. Stop. This is a travesty. And I started thinking, you know what? A lot of people really don't know who Lucian Grainge is. And that is the man that Kanye referred to as Drake's rich baby daddy. And that's why I said, you know what? Let's do a deep dive into who Sir Lucian Grainge is. Oh, you didn't know he got knighted by that crazy messed up royal family? Y'all, let's get into this because, baby, like I said, I went down the rabbit hole in this one and I'm inviting you to come with me because it's important to know not only who Diddy is, but who the billionaires that are protecting Diddy, allegedly, at least that's what the streets are saying, is. Nothing. Diddy maintains his innocence. Nothing has been proven in a court of law. Lucian Grainge says he shouldn't even be included in this. Little Rod is pushing for them to have their day in court. Keep in mind that Universal Music Group under Lucian Grainge makes $1 million a minute. That's the type of money we're talking about. But you know what, y'all? Let's get into this deep dive. Hit me up on the end and let me know meet me on the other side so we can discuss what this means. All right, let's go.
You say rich baby daddy, it's like Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy named Lucian.
So all of his streams in the number ones is controlled by someone named Lucian.
Well, Lucian worked for people who control the banks in Africa.
Music industry facts. Did you know that UMG, Universal Music Group, generates over $1 million every single hour? And in 2021, UMG head Lucian Grainge made more than every single songwriter in the entirety of the United Kingdom combined. How does that 0.003 feel like now?
Why is everyone focusing so much on P. Diddy right now? When in actuality, everybody should be focusing their eyes on this man, Sir Lucian Grainge, aka the chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group. Yes, the same Universal Music Group that had all of its artists' music taken off of TikTok. This situation is way bigger than anybody really thinks. And hopefully I'll be able to open your eyes just a little bit more. And there's numerous accusations of Lucian and UMG sponsoring these parties, including from artists like J-Lo herself. It gets pretty dark. And if you really want to get deep, over 70% of the songs that just so happen to be on the Billboard 100 just last year in the last quarter of December, okay, were literally owned by Universal Music Group, people. And in the 1,000 plus page documents, Lil Rod Jones and a lot of other defendants as well admit that Lucian himself was at each one of those parties. So that in itself should really tell you something. And did you know, across the course of Lucian's career, Grainge has worked with the likes of ABBA, Drake, Elton John, Jay-Z, Katy Perry, Queen, Rihanna, The Rolling Stones, Sam Smith, U2, and Amy Winehouse. Oh, and ironically, Grainge is a Sir by virtue of being knighted by the Queen of England in 2006 for services to British business and inward investment, as well as his accomplishments in the music industry. And was in the process of acquiring EMI from Citigroup back in 2011 and was completed in September 2012, UMG buying the British major record company for $1.9 billion. Thus acquiring labels and a roster of stellar talent, supposedly, including top-selling artists like Katy Perry, like I mentioned, Lady Antebellum, the Beatles, and the Beach Boys. This shit goes way back, people. And it's pretty damn ironic when you consider the fact that P. Diddy's best friend is none other than Jay-Z himself. And is anybody actually aware of the controversy that lies behind Jay-Z's name? If anybody would like a video upon Jay-Z and his controversy alone, I can make that video. It's gonna be at least 10 minutes long. Because boy, let me tell you, there's even allegations that go back to Tupac and Biggie. And isn't it ironic that Diddy's name has been heavily surrounded around these cases for so many years? This is for entertainment purposes only, by the way, so I don't get a violation. And then people like Eminem make a mockery of the situation by saying he did it at the end of his diss track. Oh, and isn't it just ironic that Eminem, aka Marshall Mathers, just so happened to be on that list? I'm sure we all know about the list that I'm talking about. Well, the supposed list, that is. Regardless, people only refuse to acknowledge those names going to that island in the beginning because it doesn't seem realistic. And the only reason that it doesn't seem realistic is because the entertainment industry has convinced you otherwise. Does anybody actually understand what music is, what frequencies are, what they do to your brain? You know that really annoying ass song that you just can't get the fuck out of your head? Frequencies, people. Everything around us contains a certain frequency. And if you align your mind with certain frequencies, your brain waves shift. They're altered, sometimes to calm you, sometimes to irritate you. Our perception of our realities around us daily might or might not be false. The aspects that have been hidden behind our supposed leader's veil of lies for so long are much more vast than anybody would actually like to believe. And there's a reason that we're all confined inside of this infrastructural society. There's a reason why so many of us give into entertainment so willingly. We have obviously become mindless consumers that value everybody else's opinions more than ours, thus not allowing ourselves to think outside the box, which is kind of something that they told you from the very beginning of our failing education system that they wanted. They wanted workers and not thinkers. And now here we are, stuck working. Just like Diddy, he was a worker, he was a pawn, and Diddy, I guarantee, will be the fall man. And I'm really curious if Diddy in himself has the balls to reveal everybody's name. Because boy, when I tell you that's a long ass list, it's a long ass list. And regardless if you want to have your eyes open or not, this is the age of Aquarius, people. This is the age of conscious awakening. This is the age of revealing all the secrets that have been hidden behind that veil of lies of which I spoke about. This shit is no fucking joke. There's a lot of dark secrets behind those closed doors in our societies, okay? And the only reason that nobody wants to bat an eye to those hidden secrets is because they rely on sources like mainstream news and media to paint this image of truth for them.
Sophia Richie's wedding is this weekend and she is marrying into music royalty. Her soon-to-be husband, Elliot Grainge, is from the UK and he's none other than the son of Sir Lucian Grainge, the chairman and CEO of the Universal Music Group. He has worked with all the biggest artists like Katy Perry, Rihanna, Elton John, The Rolling Stones. Here he is with Taylor Swift, and in 2016, he was knighted by Prince William. So now people call him Sir Lucian Grainge. He also received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and Billboard named him their music executive of the decade. Basically, he's a big deal in the music industry, and that's how he got to know of Lionel Richie, the father of Sophia Richie. They're so close that Lionel even showed up to support Lucian when he got his star on the Walk of Fame. Because their dads are so close, Sophia and Elliot have also known each other since they were children. In fact, Lionel Richie even said, "I love Elliot. I've known him since he was 12. I know who he is." Elliot grew up in the UK, but later attended Northeastern University in Boston. After graduating from college, he moved to LA where he started his own music label. Elliot's music label, 10,000 Projects, worked with some of the biggest up-and-coming musicians, including Ice Spice. Basically, Elliot's label has done really well, and he was even named on the Forbes 30 Under 30 list in 2020. So Sophia is basically a daughter of an extremely famous musician, and now she's going to be married into a family that is like royalty in the music industry.
I don't really know this guy that well.
You're welcome.
Take care. He's the CEO of Universal Music. This guy runs the record industry.
I didn't realize how controlled the music industry is until I made this chart. See, I wanted to know how many of this last year's top 100 songs were produced by Universal Music Group, whose CEO is Lucian Grainge, who was directly named in the recent P. Diddy lawsuit that alleged that he has hundreds of hours of video footage and audio recordings of all of this illegal stuff going on, providing laced alcoholic beverages to minors and sex workers, drugging and sexually assaulting people, underage girls, shootings, all kinds of drugs and firearms, and sketchiest of all, these crazy parties being hosted in houses wired up with secret cameras in every room, like Jeffrey Epstein style. There's photographic evidence included in the lawsuit. Pause if you want to read this. And the lawsuit directly alleges that CEO of Universal Music Group, Lucian Grainge, was attending these parties and had direct knowledge of all of the crimes, or at least some of the crimes that I just mentioned. And again, this is all allegedly, according to this lawsuit, which has a lot of evidence to support it. And Lucian Grainge is the CEO of Universal Music Group, which is massive. And this is just my opinion from reading the lawsuit, but it looks like what it's alleging is that Diddy, with help of associates, is acquiring blackmail on rappers that are getting signed into the industry, and other musicians too, and then promoting them because they are now in the club. And so if the CEO of Universal Music Group is aware of this operation or in some ways involved, how much of the music industry is controlled by Universal Music Group? Well, what I did is I went to the Billboard Hot 100 and I grabbed all these songs by these different artists and put them into a chart. And that chart looked like this. And then I did the research to figure out what record labels own those songs. And when it's all done, Universal controls 33 out of 2023's top 100 songs. That is 1/3 of the music on the top hits charts. And I'm not alleging that all of that music was done through this sexual blackmail scheme. I'm not alleging that it's all a direct causal relationship. I'm just pointing out how small and consolidated and tied together the music industry is and raising some questions. And just to clarify my methods real quick here at the end, I did this research by typing in the name of the song and searching for it on Google and then finding the Wikipedia page for that song specifically, and then scrolling down to the label and then tracing. So Capitol is owned by Universal Music Group. So that's actually Universal on my chart. Obviously, it's a little more complicated than that, but I just wanted to simplify it. Next, I'm going to analyze how much of that top 100's chart is controlled by a certain group that people have a lot of allegations about. See if there's any basis to those claims. And I think I'm also gonna watch all the music videos for all those songs and analyze whether that content is what you would consider wholesome or destructive to culture and people. You know, like generally perverse or promoting really bad themes. I'm pretty curious to see how that metric lines up with which record labels and which owners of those record labels, so stay tuned. And if you haven't seen my video yet about the connection between Diddy's lawsuit here and his sexual blackmail ring and the death of Michael Jackson, Check that video out. It's a banger. You can find it on all my platforms except for TikTok. Go figure.